This past weekend, we had Iowa versus Penn State. Did it live up to the hype? Let's break it down. Now, as a hardcore wrestling fan, I enjoyed the Iowa versus Penn State match. 7 out of the 10 matches were really close and in the balance coming down to the end of the third period. We had 4 overtime matches. We had a pin. We had upsets. And it was a close duel. Penn State really didn't lock up the win until that 197-pound bout. And we learned a lot about both teams. We learned a lot about Penn State. We learned a lot about Iowa. On the Penn State side, you got to see Bo Bartlett, Shane Van Ness, Alex Facundo wrestle really tough against quality guys. You learn these guys are never going to get blown out. While they all lost, they're never going to get blown out. They're always going to be in close matches. But then you also learned they need to develop a little bit more offense. Bo Bartlett, when guys are attacking him and going after him, he can generate some points. But when he has to go out and get it, he's got to find something he can rely on a little bit more to go out and create some offense on his own. Shane Van Ness, he has impressive pace, but he's not going to be able to break guys in college like he was able to in high school. And so again, he's going to have to develop a little bit more offense that he can consistently get to on these higher level wrestlers. And then Alex Facundo, same thing. He has that really nice duck under. I'd like to see him add an additional tack that he can count on to create some offense. And then Greg at heavyweight. Every time he wrestles Tony Cassiope in the future, I'm going to pick Greg. He's beaten him twice. They've wrestled for 14 minutes this year, and Tony Cassiope hasn't gotten a takedown. So in the future, I'm picking Greg. I think if you're a Penn State fan, you feel pretty good about Greg has now passed Tony Cassiope, and he's going to get that win in the future. And then on the Iowa side, with Real Woods, you not only think Real Woods is a title contender, he's now probably the favorite to win the national title at the tournament. That was a very controlled match by Real Woods. He got the takedown. He got a riding time point. Good defense at the end there. Very controlled match to get that win over a very tough Bo Bartlett. So Real Woods right now, in my opinion, the front runner to win a national title. Max Murin has finished in the round of 12 3 times. And Shane Van Ness, while he's not ranked in the top 10 at 149 pounds, in every other weight class, he's a top 10 guy. 149 pounds is just a really deep weight class. So if you're an Iowa fan, you feel good that Max Murin was able to get a win over a really quality guy in Shane Van Ness, someone who he'll likely have to beat in order to be an All-American. This could be a blood round match that Max Murin just won to get himself into that All-American spot. And then Patrick Kennedy, he didn't get a takedown in this match. He won in ultimate tiebreakers, but with his win over Danny Bronigal from Illinois and his tough match against Dean Hamidi and now a really quality win over Alex Facundo, you're thinking Patrick Kennedy is not only a contender to be an All-American this year, he may be an All-American for the next 4 years for the Iowa Hawkeyes. So again, for us hardcore fans that love wrestling, I think we got what we wanted from this match. I really enjoyed watching it. I'd watch it again if it was on tonight. But on the other side, if you're a casual fan that tunes into 2 or 3 matches a year, you tune into the Big Ten Championship Finals, you tune into the NCAA Championships, I think they watch this match and they're probably a little underwhelmed simply due to the lack of offense we saw. Iowa in the whole duel only got 2 takedowns, one from Real Woods and one from Max Murin. Now, to be fair, Spencer Lee got a reversal and then got a bunch of tilts to tech his guy, but Patrick Kennedy didn't get a takedown in his win. And on the flip side, Penn State, now they got 15 takedowns, but basically all of those were from Aaron Brooks and Roman Bravo Young. Levi Haynes only got 1, Carter only got 1, and Greg only got 1. And Max Dean didn't get a takedown. He won off that third period ride out. But fear not, wrestling fans, I have a few ideas that I think could help improve folk style wrestling. But before I tell you my ideas, let's listen to David Taylor and see what he thinks. So David Taylor tweeted, "Should only get a riding time point if you turn someone. can ride someone for 5 minutes, but if you don't turn them, you don't get the point. Call it a turning point. Get rid of stalling and add a neutral push-out point. I guarantee we see higher scoring matches. Now, my reply to that, or my comment, was, what do you think about a 1 point for 1 second near fall? So I like these ideas from David Taylor. One of my ideas, I like riding time in general. I would be okay with getting rid of riding time if we added 1 point for a 1 second near fall count. Now, my fear of just getting rid of riding time by itself is that many guys would be de-incentivized to ride at all, and they would just instantly cut guys. But by giving 1 point for a near fall, I think that still incentivizes guys enough to try to get a turn. Oftentimes we'll see guys lock up a tilt or lock up some sort of turn, and they'll flip them over, hold them for a second, and then the bottom guy wiggles out and they score no points for that. I think a 1 point near fall could help incentivize guys to continue to ride and try to turn without being rewarded a ride time point. I do like David Taylor's idea of a step out point. It works pretty well in freestyle, and it's something that would keep the action in the center of the mat. I know some criticism to a step out point in folk style would be, well, what if the top guy at the edge of the mat cuts them right near the boundary and then pushes them out for a point? I think that could easily be resolved by just giving the guy a 5-second count when he's cut or when he gets the escape, to say you have 5 seconds to work your way back to the center of the mat before you're at risk of giving out 1 point for a push out. And if he's pushed out of bounds before the 5 seconds is up, no push out point, go back to the center of the mat, start wrestling. And then the one thing where I disagree a little bit with David is the stalling point. He recommends getting rid of stalling. I would almost like to see it go the opposite way. I think we should be more aggressive with hitting guys and with hitting wrestlers with stalling. Sometimes we see wrestlers go 45 seconds without taking shots. They're backing up, they're circling, they're wrestling on the edge. Hit them for stalling. 15 seconds, if they're backing up or wrestling on the edge, hit them for stalling. That's kind of my opinion on that. Let me know what you guys think in the comment below. I'd love to hear your ideas on what you would do to improve folk style wrestling. That's what I got for you today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video.